So we'll talk with Anthony first. So state who you are and what you do for a living, Anthony.
Hi, my name is Anthony Marrocco. I graduated Adelphi in 2016 with a physics degree, and I'm currently a software engineer for JP Chase.
So why did you choose to study physics?
I wanted to become an engineer. Well, I originally have an interesting story, so I started out as a psychology major, but then I realized I didn't really want to work with people more, so I wanted to work with, science and machines. I actually was really good at physics in high school. I won an award or something, and so I was really good at math, really good at science, so engineering kind of spoke to me. So Adelphi had the 3-2 program. I'm not sure, does it still have it?
Yeah, right. We have it's a little bit, it's not as good as it once was, but we still have it.
Okay, so yeah, Adelphi had the 3-2 program, so
That's a 3-2 program in engineering.
Yes, engineering, so I decided, so that's why I went into physics.
Okay, that's cool. So what additional steps beyond studying physics do you feel you had to do to help you make your career choice?
My current career choice?
Yeah. You said maybe a coding camp?
Yeah, well, I feel like I had to brush up my calculus skills. I guess, in learning physics, because I feel like I didn't have the best knowledge of calculus. I did take AP calculus in high school, but, that didn't work out. So I guess I had more of a journey. So right after Adelphi, I decided to, since I didn't get into the Columbia 3-2 program, I got into a master's program for mechanical engineering. So I did that instead, and I got my master's, and then I got a job as a project engineer, so I was designing using CAD and 3D. So that's what I learned in my master's in mechanical engineering. That was at Stevens Technology. I learned how to design, using 3D software and 2D software, AutoCAD, engineer, and then when the pandemic happened, it really affected things and switched things up. It made you reflect on what your life wasn't currently going. So I decided that, coding was a good career choice, where the money was at, and bootcamp.
Literally went for the money.
Yeah, and coding boot camps, they're not as popular now, but I feel like everyone was doing them in the early 2020. So I went with that, and then I was just applying different places, and I did want to apply for a place that a mechanical firm or an aerospace firm, such as say Lockheed Martin or something that would do both the hard science and the computer science. But ultimately, JP Morgan had a program that accepted people who did coding boot camp, so I went that path because it was easiest and the money's good. So that's what I did.
So you said you do a lot of AI in your job. How much does that, I guess one of the questions that a lot of people are asking software engineers is, how much is that hurting? Are you worried about your job?
Well, for starters, I am getting a master's in artificial intelligence AI through the University of Texas at Austin. So I feel like I did that because I just thought I studied enroll when it was really new and current. So I thought it was really fun thing to try and do. And as I've been going through the program, AI has definitely advanced and now it's really well known and has a lot of positives, but on the negatives, it is affecting software engineers. I know there's been layoffs at my job recently, and I am concerned about my job, but I do feel like having the degree in AI could potentially save me in a way, because it'll help, if they're looking at requirements, looking who to lay off, having that extra knowledge can help. With that being said, I've been at work. I've been told like the majority use like Claude, Opus, like GBT. We have something called the LLM suite that use like large language modeling. So it is negatively impacting the software engineering fields.
So what? So how has studying physics in college been a win for your career, or not been a win?
I want it to be a win for my career, but just the way the cards fell, it wasn't. But like I said, I want to eventually go back into, because I know physics was a lot and stressful at times, but I really did enjoy what we learned. It's just that it was really difficult to do at times. And the professors like Dr. Wright were very helpful in, it was very helpful in helping us acknowledge that. So I do want to go back into, the mechanical, like physics portion of it. So I do feel like having my physics degree, it will help me in that, and like when I'm applying for jobs, it'll show like, I guess if I want to do a software engineer field in like, say like a physics or like a mechanical or like aerospace or astrophysics fields, me having that physics degree and the knowledge I learned in physics will help me stand out in front of other applicants for those type of jobs that I want to go in. So yes, it's not beneficial now, but I'm hoping it'll be beneficial in the long run.
Okay. So how much do people in your field usually make for a career? I'm not asking for your salary. I'm just like, if you were to go on like, Indeed, and you found some position that was similar to yours, what's the going rate?
I would say maybe 125K.
Okay. And what does your typical day look like?
My typical day. So all of my coworkers work in Scotland, so I have like a unique situation in that I really don't talk to anyone in the office immediately for like what I do.
You're by yourself.
I have like on my like sister teams and everything, and my location and my line manager is located in the States, but my like team lead and all my other people are my fellow engineers, they're in Scotland. So early in the morning, I'm on calls with them, just saying what I do for my day, and then like the rest of the day, I'm just like working.
So do you start on Scotland time, like 5 a.m. or something?
I don't.
Okay. So you start at regular time.
So I can start like 8 or 9 or whatever, and then I like.
There's like 3 hours.
Have my call. There's like 3 or 4 hour overlap, and then. So I'll kind of just will be, like I'll have them in the afternoon. I'll have them in the morning when they're afternoons for us to, discuss what needs to be discussed, and after that I'm just working on different features.
Cool. So what's one funny story that you have about your work that you'd like to share, if there is a funny story?
Funny story.
If there's not, that's okay. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, probably not. I don't know. Maybe funny stories like when you have a coworker who's new, because I'm one of the veterans on my team. I've been working with the firm for almost 4 years, so getting to teach them is, fun, but I guess kind of like an embarrassing story that I guess every software engineer goes through. And I've seen it from like myself, and like I've seen other people do it. It's like when you're like afraid to push code because you're afraid to break something, and then when you push code and you're like really afraid to do it, it'll break something, and then when it's in production, you realize it doesn't do anything, and then you have to go back to the drawing board. That's something that I did. I pushed something to code once, and then something broke, and I was so afraid that it was my thing. But then, like, one of my other coworkers helped me realize that my coding change did nothing at all. So
when you say push code, my understanding you're talking about source control.
Yeah, source control, like via Git. So yeah. So I guess the way software engineers work is that, well, like, I guess you can think of like, we'll think of it as like a cloud or like a drive. We'll push it to like the drive or like the source control, and then
Like the live
and then
production.
they'll do a deployment of the code, which means like pushing it to production, like for the world to see, or like
You know, once when I was in New York City, I remember partying in New York City. One of the very few times I partied in New York City, and I had just pushed, as a software engineer, I just pushed something to our production, and it failed. And it was shooting us like emails, like 300 emails, like this failed, that failed, this failed, data's not working, and we were like in the middle of the night trying to figure it out.
yeah.
While you were out partying?
One of the benefits of having, one of the benefits like is having, we do deployments like Friday morning or something, so we don't have to like do it so we don't have to worry about that at night.
All right, that makes sense.
But I guess that's different from different teams. My team, like, it doesn't really, we do deployments for like on Friday morning, so.
Yeah. So what's one thing you wish you knew before you went to college?
One thing I wish I knew is maybe how to advocate for myself and trust myself.
Advocate for yourself and trust for yourself. That's great.
Because I feel like, you know, when you come from, I'm someone who has like no connections in like the science fields, anything. So like, I didn't really know what I was talking about when I came first. Like, I didn't know I guess I didn't know like the different, I don't say classes to take, but I didn't know like different possibilities I could do with different majors because, you know, I was one of the first people in my family to go to college. So, you know, people didn't really like, I didn't really have that experience, but when I spoke to other people in my grade, like some of them had like parents who like worked in like companies and like, you know, parents that were very high up. I didn't really have that experience, so I wish I just knew how to like trust myself more and advocate for myself and to be a go-getter and get what I wanted, because I feel like that's something I learned like after college, that you need to advocate yourself, because if you're too like quiet or introverted, then you're not going to get what you want.
Right, it's okay to be introverted, but
you have to but it's good to be, you know, everyone's different. It's good to be introverted, it's good to be extroverted until you are, but you have to turn it on and advocate for yourself when you need to. And I feel like, I guess like when you're like introverted, it could be more difficult for someone to do that because, you know, like I guess anxieties may pick a bit more, but even if you're extroverted, you could also have those anxieties too. But I would just say, like, you know, trust yourself and advocate for yourself and go for what you want.
Great answer. So what advice do you have to a student who's starting out? I guess that's the same question. I should drop that question.
I think it's a little different, but my answer for that, I would just say try everything. Like, you know, go to as many like, I guess, club meetings as you can, and for your first year, I would say take as many like intro classes that you can, because you never know what you're gonna like, you never know what you're gonna stick to, you never know, like, I guess the people that you meet along the way as well, because, you know, just go to different clubs and just try different things.
Cool. So anything else you want to say?
To who? Like, to the...
Whoever you'd like to say it to.
Well, I would say thank you to Dr. Wright. Because he was a big help and, like, helped me realize, like, when I didn't get into the Columbia program, that there were other opportunities for me.
Life after Columbia.
Yeah. Life after a Columbia rejection, it feels like you have nothing, but, you know, Dr. Wright helped me realize that there are other things that you can do. So, you know, I kept trying. I applied for PhD in physics programs. I applied for master's in engineering programs, and I got into one, and that like led me to where I am today. So thank you, Dr. Wright.